Final Fantasy is one of my favorite game franchises. Visuals and performance, of course, this is always the talk of Final Fantasy 15, and yeah, they're always good and really good till this day. From the beginning until now, I've been playing this game because of the graphics, to be honest. Yeah, it is that good. Well, if you have a potato PC, it is quite hard to play, but it is possible. There is mod that lowers the graphics so you can play even in your potato PC, and the performance of this game isn't that bad. For this performance review, I tried playing this using my old PC using a GTX 1060 6GB, and the CPU is i7 6700K at the highest settings, and this game can get up to like 45 until 70 FPS depending on the situation and conditions. And what's more is that this game has been a long since it was released. I think it was released in 2016 or I don't know, maybe 2014 for PS4. And imagine that the graphics in 2016 were still very good as still this day. I mean, it is an achievement for Square Enix. And of course, I also tried playing this game on my PC, I mean my main PC, which uses a 4080. I mean, of course, 4080 is an RTX 4080 in the highest graphic settings, and of course, the processor or the CPU is Ryzen 7 7800X3D, and it is definitely a very smooth sailing experience, and it can go up to like 4K, and I can get up to like 120 FPS. So it is pretty goddamn cool. The first time I played this, I was confused as to whether or not to buy it on my PC, because as I said, when I bought this, I was still using my potato PC, so I didn't know whether it would lag or not, but it turns out to be fine, and it wasn't much of a big deal. So for those of you who are confused about whether this game can be played on your PC or not, yes, you can. Of course it can, because this game was made to be played on a PS4, and if you know, PS4 is not that powerful when compared to PC or a PS5. But of course, there are some problems that I need to address, and even though the graphics are good, it is really hard to play this on an HDD. I mean, if you install this game on your hard drive, the loading takes a really long time. So I recommend installing this game on an SSD, because this is an open world game, and if you pay attention, this game uses a lot of repeatable assets. What this means is that when you go to the rest area or a restaurant, or if you meet a new NPC, there are lots of the same people or the same thing. Yeah, it's a bit of a nitpick, I would say, but of course it is not a problem, but it just looks funny and not good sometimes. So what's more is that this NPC looks really dead. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Of course, again, this is just a nitpick from all the beautiful visuals, fidelity, or any graphical enhancement for this game. Now for the gameplay. This is something that would be fun to discuss or review, because there is a lot of controversy about the gameplay in this game. Because some people say that the combat is really good, and some say that the combat is really bad. Well, I'll just say that the combat in FF15 is that it's not as exciting as Final Fantasy VII Remake. And if you have played Final Fantasy VII Remake, you will know that even if you compare it to FF16, FF15's combat can be said to be boring. But here is the thing. There are many people who like it because this game is an action game, but very simple. So just imagine, this game has auto dodge, where if you hold down the dodge button, it will dodge automatically without any obstacles. Then you can also parry, but here, for the parry, you just have to hold down the parry button. It is really strange, isn't it? Where in other games, if you want to parry or counter, same thing, you have to press the button just at the right moment, so it is not holding the button. Likewise, if you want to hit the enemy, you just hold down the hit button and he will do the combo automatically himself. The gameplay can be said to be simple, but because it is too simple, many people say it is boring and not immersive. And of course, people who said that aren't in the wrong. But that doesn't mean that this game isn't fun. First thing first, I have a complaint that I want to tell you. As I said, we can auto dodge by holding the button, but there are some attacks that we cannot dodge. Like if you are sprayed with fire, or for example an AoE attack, yeah, you cannot dodge that. It is annoying or frustrating. And I hate that it doesn't have an indicator. It's like you just imagine if you're playing at level 1, as for me I am playing this at level 1, and 1 or 2 or 3 hits can kill you, and suddenly you think you are able to dodge the attack, but instead you get hit. In any other game, the enemy below that cannot be avoided will definitely have an indicator. For example, here in FF7 there will be a red triangle in the top of the name of the bosses, and in Sekiro there will be a red Japanese writing on top. So yeah, if there's nothing, it is quite annoying and frustrating. Then suddenly we get hit and then we die. And then we have to start all over again for the boss fight or whatever fights it is. That's what I don't like though. Even though the combat is simple and we can mostly dodge everything, if you want to play with no damage, I think it's gonna be very difficult. I didn't say that it's not possible, but it's just difficult. So in this game there are 4 of you in one party. Basically you just control the main character, which is Noctis, and the other 3 is controlled by AI. So we are not the ones controlling it, but we can use skills using our friends, and there are also small events that use our friends, such as sling attacks or blindside attack. I have to admit that system is really cool when I first saw it, because the party members came to life. So it's like it wasn't just, you know, mindless AI controlled and then the party members suddenly died. No, it's not like that. It was pretty cool at first. As I said, I've played this game before, so I want to challenge myself to play this game at level 1. So, you cannot level up, that's basically it. Simple, right? I want to see how difficult it is for this game, which is said to be boring. Maybe, you know, playing this at level 1 is not gonna be boring and making the combat more exciting. And man, it is quite controversial too. Okay, so honestly, firstly, yes, it is really easy. There's no problem at all with skipping some of the side quests or main quests at first, you know, at the earlier stages of the game. But over time, it becomes more and more difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of money to buy some potions or weapons. So when I played this game without level 1, it was really easy. I could just hold down the attack button and get to the ending so freaking fast. But now, playing this at level 1, I do realize something, that food is really important here. Food in this game is really important. You can get, you know, like attack buffs, HP up or resist to poison and etc. That is really important because it really helps you, and if you play this at level 1, your defense, HP or attack won't be increased, except from the food and equipment of course. It is more difficult, especially when fighting a boss. You can get hit or you can die in 2 or 3 hits. So how do you get food here? We can buy food or go camping. First thing first, I want to tackle in this camping stuff because it is really good. It's funny and good at the same time. In this game there is camping, and if you take a look at this is the first game to include a food system for buffing, and now everyone is following it. What's funny is that if we go camping, we can get cutscenes where we chat with our friends like Prompto, Ignis or Gladiolus, and we can get a cute mini games. And I really like mini games in a lot of Final Fantasy like this, because this is Final Fantasy where there is seriousness and there are also little fun things to do, so that we remember that, you know, it's just a game, and game used to make us smile and happy when we play it. So this does the job really well, so you don't have to take everything seriously. That's what I love about Final Fantasy franchise or any other Final Fantasy games. So how can you finish this game if you play it at level 1? As I said, it is really difficult. Well, it is possible, even though there isn't a cure here like any other Final Fantasy games, but there are still magics, don't worry about that. I think the only way to heal here is just use potions, and those potions are unlimited. You can use that anytime, so basically you cannot die, especially if you use a Phoenix down. The healing items here are really powerful. It's a little sad because there are no penalties, which makes this game a little bit unbalanced, unlike any other FF games, because for example, if you have played Final Fantasy VII Remake or any other turn-based FF games, if you use a potion, you skip one turn. That's it. So again, potions in this game is quite unbalanced for me, but I think that's okay because they want to make this game more accessible to new players, right? Because as you can see, it is a Final Fantasy for quote-unquote first-timers and the other fans. So let's talk about the new game plus in this game. For most game, new game plus is basically that you carry your items which you have obtained throughout the playthrough, I mean the first playthrough, and then harder bosses. But in this game, yes, there is new game plus, but there are no new challenges. It is just a shame. It's basically the same thing, but it's just that you bring your weapon and the level you've got and repeat the game again and again. But if you play it at level 1, then what's the use? There is no point playing this game in New Game Plus if you play it at level 1. So I recommend that if you want to play this game at level 1, don't be too quick to unlock the New Game Plus, but take your time, enjoy it, and if you are someone who likes getting 100%, it's better to just relax and finish the mission at your first playthrough, because the story in this game is not that great and there are so many loading screens and the fast traveling, and then there is this, riding a car, driving a car for like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute. Man, that is just wasting our time and it's not a good experience if you want to do it over again. Yeah, I don't like something that is wasting my time, so that's just for me though. Maybe for someone, it is relaxing because, driving, listening to music, like maybe in GTA, you're always like driving and listening to music. It's really relaxing. And of course, stopping at the red lights. Pretty relaxing, huh, for playing a GTA. I know that feeling, okay? But for me, in Final Fantasy 15, it's not like that at all. Quite wasting my time, to be honest. So I talked to a lot of people asking if they like the story or not, and there are some who like it and some that don't really care about it and some that really hate it, but mostly hate it. But they talk a little bit different when I ask them about the DLC, because man, god damn, the DLC is fucking amazing in this game. So the DLC is extra content, basically telling you about Gladio, Ignis, Prompto, and the last DLC is telling you about Arden, why Arden can be that bad. A lot of people, again, said the DLC is better than the story, and I do agree. In this DLC, you can really feel the pity when Prompto is sad, and the gameplay in each story is also different. For example, when you play the Prompto DLC, Prompto here can aim like when you play an FPS game. So when I played this, I was surprised that the gameplay was really different even though it is in one game. Ignis DLC is also really cool. He uses dual blades and it is a super fast-paced gameplay. It's like Devil May Cry, full of action. And man, the combo meter, man, it is spot on like Devil May Cry. It's just that good. For Gladio, it's more basic. It's just like when you played the main story when you want to come to the ending. So what I was also surprised by is that they made a DLC for Arden, which is Noctis' enemy, and tell us why Arden can be evil and crazy. It's really good here before because he wasn't like that. And oh my god, the Arden, man, the Arden DLC is whoo. We can play at Noctis' starting town. And if you're aware, we are not able to play at the starting town of Noctis, which is really sad. So overall, playing the DLC is more satisfying and more rewarding than the main story. It's like they put more effort into making the DLC compared to the main story. And imagine if the DLC is in the main story of Final Fantasy 15. It will be a 10 out of 10 Final Fantasy, man. I kid you not. I kid you not. Okay, that's pretty much about the DLC. A bit brief and to get to know what's it like when you get the DLC, because it is worth it. Now, I want to go to the boss fight because in Final Fantasy 15, the boss fight is quite memorable, but it's really lacking. Okay, I'll give you an example. In this Final Fantasy, one of the most memorable boss fight is against Leviathan. But with this luxury, you have to know that I only press one button. There are no other buttons that I press, so this boss fight is really good for visuals. But when you play it, it's kind of boring in a way. No, it's actually really boring. Not in a way. It is boring as heck. So just imagine holding down one button for a few minutes that really have no use and can be shown with a good cutscenes instead of us playing. Because if you guys show a good cutscenes with Leviathan and the combat and everything, man, it will be an epic showdown. And it will be more immersive than just holding one button. Yeah, imagine. I mean, is it immersive to just hold down one button? Fuck no. Yeah, fuck no. Damn, boss fights in this game is quite lacking, but honestly, some are memorable, some are not. But it's mostly the same, you know. What I do like is that the boss fight from Arenia with Arenia, because there is something like, if you have played Kingdom Hearts 2, there is something like reaction commands where you just press one button and then they will go into an animation, which is really awesome. Like, the animation is just top notch in this game, honestly. So yeah, it's a hit or miss for the boss fight. And what I also like about this game is that they support a lot of mods. I never thought that there would be a Final Fantasy game that has really good mod support. It's true that the mods are mostly outfits or visuals and weapons, but it is still fun. Mods should be praised because if the mod is good, it's gonna make the game better. It can add to quality of life for itself, and or like, you know, AI for enemies, more difficult enemies, and more maybe responsive companions. So I am really happy that the mods are really supported in this game. So all in all, the gameplay in this Final Fantasy 15 is quite nice. It is of course a bit controversial, but for me, I do enjoy it because of its simple action RPG, and it is also open world. I do like something open world, but again, there are some complaints that, like the driving, it's taking a bit too long, and then all the loading screens, because if you install it on an HDD, it's not good. It's gonna take so long to load. It may be like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's just horrible. It's literally wasting my time or your time, because when I install it on my HDD, I literally alt tab and just watch some YouTube videos first, and then when the load finished, I came back to the game. So not a good experience. But playing this at level 1, man, holy, it is challenging, and yeah, it does achieve for a not more boring experience, more tactical experience, if you know what I mean. So try playing this game in level 1 and see what it has to offer. Now, if you're asking me why this game is inconsistent, there is some history behind it. So back then, the game experienced numerous changes and challenges throughout its development before it was finally released in 2016. In 2006, Final Fantasy 15, if you remember it, it was called Final Fantasy Versus 13, directed by none other than Tetsuya Nomura, who made Final Fantasy VII Remake, Kingdom Hearts, that's it, Final Fantasy VII, the original one of course, and it was meant to be part of Final Fantasy 13 world. And it was a PlayStation 3 only game, and later, during E3 2013, it was renamed to Final Fantasy 15, and experienced delays and difficulties. As a result, it was separated from the Final Fantasy 13 universe as much as possible. Tetsuya Nomura stayed as the director of the game, but the development was moved from another company's team to Square Enix Business Division 2. Change in the leadership occurred in 2014 when Hajime Tabata took over as the new director. Tabata implemented some modifications in both the design and the development direction of the game. These alternations include drifting from the previous concept of a gloomy and depressing storyline to a more action-packed gameplay style. If you noticed that even Lady Lunafreya has been changed a lot from Final Fantasy 13 Versus, Final Fantasy 15 had a prolonged development process, which made numerous fans worried about the game's quality and the length of the time it took. It was launched for PS4 finally and Xbox One in November 2016, and then after a few expansions like the DLC, it is discovered to be popular due to its broad, open world style, action powered combat system, and an interesting plot with distinctive character building. Even though the main story isn't that good, but the DLC is just where people is playing this game for. So in 2018, a few DLC episodes were halted following Square Enix alterations in their development goals. The game is persistently being updated and adapted, featuring a Windows edition and a mobile spin-off and an anime series. The creation of Final Fantasy XV was a very lengthy and challenging process, marked by alterations in management, systems, and design principles. So because of that, confusion between the alteration of the game design, the gameplay and combat, and the story, it is quite half-baked in my opinion, especially at the ending. It's really not that climactic. It is somehow a bad ending and a neutral ending, but yeah, it is not that climactic. Because at the first stages of the game, the story is phenomenal, especially when they were pushing a car. It was just phenomenal. Like, we are expecting this game to be very good. It's like they are show-offing. It will be an open world, a massive open world game, so mwah. But then, after 4 hours or 5 hours into the game, it falls down really quick. Like, it hit rock bottom, and it doesn't go back up. So yeah, it's a bit of a miss opportunities for sure, because this game, if you take a look at it, this game is just so good in gameplay. It is simple yet satisfying, and in boss fights it is huge, like huge. And there's a lot of RPG stuff like the skill tree, of course, and many other stuff like crafting, unlike Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, there are companions you can battle with, there are mods. It's really good. For sure that the developer or the development team of this game really do love this game and care so much about this game, but maybe just because of the changes from Tetsuya Nomura to Tabata, their visions are not the same. So that is why it is quite half-baked. That's basically it. But then again, I freaking love this game.
Hey, pretty boy. Let's see what you can do.
And one of the things that I also love about this game, and quite underrated, is the audio. The audio, in my opinion, is important, very important, because people just don't realize that the audio is what makes the game beautiful, such as the music, the way all the characters in the game have memorable personalities, sound effects, visualization of their speaking, yeah, like how they speak, expressions. It's basically all in the audio. And the audio here is really good. Final Fantasy never disappoints with the music and also the sound effects. When he is fighting and when he is relaxed, it's all really different from the music and also from the sound effect. So when the Noctis is relaxed or the party is relaxed, it is like a jazz music. It's like when we are at a hotel. It's really good. And if we are fighting, it's gonna like amp up to drum and bass, or bassy, intense music theme. It's really that good in Final Fantasy 15. And as well as the voice acting here, all the actors who play here are very talented. Well, here I judge the English and the Japanese voice acting because I only play in those two languages. And yeah, both of the team who voice acted in English and Japanese, wow, they're all amazing and talented. They are all very expressive. They know how to speak when the situation is intense, relaxed, or funny, or any other stuff. So yeah, very good, very good voice acting. I have no complaint about the voice acting in this game. And the sound effects are also really good. From the shoes, the sword when hitting an enemy, it is very audible, and as if it makes the sword heavy and impactful. Just try to imagine if, for example, a sword that sounds like a duck when hitting an enemy. Of course, it will feel very different, and we will think that the sword is soft, not hard. So you have to know that sound effects and audio plays really big in any games. So you have to pay attention to the audio, and if the audio is bad, of course it is not an enjoyable experience to have. But again, this game's audio is amazing in all departments. So I guess we are gonna come to a conclusion, and this is the overall section, and we are finally finished with the review. And what I can say is that this game is beautiful, but the gameplay is a bit subjective because many people do enjoy this game and some other people thinks that this game is boring, you know, in the gameplay part. And as I said, the new Game Plus has no benefit, so I suggest that if you want to play, it's better to play just once but complete all the missions before getting to the ending. Even though Final Fantasy 15 is a very controversial game, well, you know, like all Final Fantasy games, even in Final Fantasy 16, we can appreciate that the developer of this game really cares about this game, because even though this game has been released for several years, we still get the Arden DLC, mod support, and many more bug fixes, etc. So kudos to them, kudos to them. So let's come to the main question of this review or revisit. Is it that bad? No, it's not. And the game is still worth playing in 2024. If you are really new to Final Fantasy, I think this game can be good for Final Fantasy first timers, of course. Like if you have never played Final Fantasy, if you want to get this, and you will have a good experience. Of course, buy it on sale. Never buy this game in full price, because I don't think it's really worth to buy this game in full price, even from the content alone. Okay, that's enough from me. This has been a really long review, especially for a first timer like me. And I didn't expect to review this game for this long. And I've made this review for about 3 weeks, I think almost a month, because you know I have other stuff to do. And I hope you all like this review or revisit, because I was inspired by another game reviewer called Skill Up, and he was really clever at reviewing things, and I want to be like him, you know? But without the Australian accent. Or can I use an Australian accent, mate? Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, keep on gaming, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Bye for now.